Today, we are going to answer this question. Did the incarnation change God? Often we hear many Christians and even pastors and theologians say, yes, that the incarnation indeed changed God. But in classical theism, the answer is no. To begin, classical theism strongly holds that God is immutable as seen in point 1. This means no change occurs in God's essence or will, for God is already perfect and complete. He does not grow or need to change. The second point is to note that all of God's external acts begins in eternity. Every divine work, creation, providence, redemption, originates in God's eternal, unchanging decree. Yet, as highlighted in point 3, these acts are manifested in time. Even though God's plan is eternal and all of his acts finds their origin in his eternity, we see his actions unfold at specific moments in history. This is how eternity meets time without changing God. And point 4, the incarnation fits this pattern. Similar to all of God's external acts, it has its origins in God's decree and eternity, but historically realized, yet without changing the divine essence. As we move to point 5, we need to note that the change is not in the divine essence, but in the Son according to his humanity. The divine essence remained impassible, omniscient, immutable. The incarnation was a personal act. The Son became human. In time and history, the Son begins to exist as man. But this change occurs only in his assumed human nature, not in his divine essence. What this means, to clarify in point 6, is that it is the Son personally, not the divine essence, who became human. The divine essence itself did not assume humanity, but it is the Son who personally took on and assumed a human nature. Finally, in point 7, the two natures of the Son are united without mixture or change. The divine essence remains fully divine. The human nature of the Son comes into being and is united to the person of the Son, thus having two natures in one person without confusion or change. In the previous video, I have already given you this diagram, and I hope that this diagram helps you to see clearly that the incarnation also fits into this pattern, as we mentioned in the previous slide, point 2 to point 4, that how the incarnation finds its origin in God's eternity, but then manifested in time without changing God. And I have two excellent quotations to share with you. The first one is from Robert Letton from his The Eternal Son book. He says, the human nature was thereby assumed into union by Christ himself, a union in his divine person, in which there was no change in his divine nature. And the second quotation is from Thomas Aquinas. He said, and because human nature is united to the Word, so that the Word subsists in it, and not so that his nature receives therefrom any addition or change, it follows that the union of human nature to the Word of God took place in the person and not in the nature. So that's it for this video. I hope you all find this helpful. Thank you.